Hey everybody, welcome to the Wise Podcast. My name is Adam McLean, and in this week's episode, we have a tip from David Crowder.
Well, hello, this is David Crowder from the Rock and Roll Extravaganza known as David Crowder Band, and I am here with a tip for all you worship leaders out there, and this would be it. If I could tell you anything in the world, it would be this: tune your guitar. That's all. I say that metaphorically because you know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm just saying there are a limited amount of things that we have control over, so let's do our best to do them well, such as look at the tuner that has the pretty lights on it, line the little needle up, and then at least you won't have people like, turning their head to the left or right when they hear that foul G string ringing soundly. That would be it. Live by those words and your life will be much improved, I'm confident.
Did Crowder just say foul G-string? Am I the only one that finds that funny? Anyways, this week we have a devotional from one of our authors, Ginny Olson, and she wanted to share this encouragement with you.
An idea I've been thinking about is the whole idea of theology from geography, what we can learn about where we are. I moved into the city probably about 10 years ago, and I was always a suburban girl before that. And I found that I absolutely loved the rhythm of city life. I loved the diversity, I loved the people I saw, the restaurants there, the conversations I would hear. And taking that concept back into Scripture, where there are very clear lessons that we can draw from geography. If we take a look, we see that when the geography was very lush and green, those are those are places where the prophets of Baal would be, where life was very easy, where people weren't really challenged. They knew where they were going to get water, where they were going to get food. But then there were those places that were the desert places, where you didn't know where you were going to get water, where you were always in danger. And it's interesting because those are the places where God would send His people. So those are the places. It was the desert that Moses went to recoup. It was the desert that Paul went to. It was the desert that Jesus went to. It's kind of when we get into that very dry, bare bones place where our very sustenance is in jeopardy that we are forced to grapple with God and to wrestle with our own inner self, our own shadow side, and to say, who is God and who am I and who are we in relationship with each other? I think it's interesting in this time of economic stress, where it sometimes feels like we are entering into a desert. And what is this going to show about our faith, about my faith, when all of a sudden life is no longer easy? And I do really have to figure out who is God, who am I, and who are we together, and how does this look? So a theology based on geography. What's God trying to teach us with where we live?
Hey, thanks for watching the podcast today. We laughed a little, we cried a little. It was awesome. Hey, I want to invite you to connect with me. You can send me an email at adam@youthspecialties.com or look me up on Facebook or MySpace or Twitter or any of those other social networks out there that you use. We want to remind you, just like we do every week, that what you do in your youth ministry matters. You might not hear from anybody else. You might not hear from your mama or your daddy, but it matters. It matters deeply to the heart of God. It really matters to those parents and even those students who are a little bit ungrateful. It matters to them too. We'll see you next week.